Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, imagine you were going about your days feeling happy, hopeful, and overwhelmed. But your family are looking at you through the lens of something that happened more than 20 years ago. They're looking at your behaviour like something's off. Without your knowledge, a call is made. That call results in 2 police officers coming to your door where they're telling you that you're going to be going to a psychiatric institution where you'll be committed, diagnosed, and medicated against your will. You go willingly with the police. You've got nothing to hide. You've not committed a crime. Everything will be explained when you get there. When you arrive to that institution, you tell the doctors your story, but they're not listening. They're hearing you, but they're not listening. They meet you perhaps one time, and they've already decided that you've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. One time, and you've now got a psychiatric label that's stigmatizing. How would you feel? Anna Biltmore was telling the doctors that she was an entrepreneur, that she had been on Wall Street pitching to investors. What did they think of that? Delusional. The psychiatrist who was assessing Anna didn't even think to verify the facts that she was giving to him. No call was made to her sponsor to validate the truth. Anna had been on Wall Street. She had been pitching to investors. But now Anna's falling down the rabbit hole. No one's listening to a word she has to say. She has this diagnosis. She's about to be committed for 11 days with a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, where she'll be medicated with at least 3 harmful medications. Anna is you and me. Anna represents the thousands of people across the world who have been committed against their will, ignored, diagnosed, and medicated for telling the truth. What we're here to ask is how many people around the world have found themselves in Anna's shoes? How many people have gone through a spiritually transformative experience yet are being treated like criminals, maybe worse than criminals? We are also here to ask how many of these institutions can honestly say that they have their patients' best interests at heart? How many of these institutions can actually say they've made their patients' lives better? Anna was having a spiritually transformative experience that could have been treated, and we will hear from several witnesses to testify what should have been the treatment for this experience. We've got to decide what we are going to do about this. Anna is an innocent victim, and she's been brave enough to come to this courtroom today to share her story. You will hear from the story of Anna Biltmore, and you will question how on earth they were able to get away with this. Thank you. Anna Biltmore was diagnosed as mentally ill for telling the truth. Telling the truth about pitching to investors on Wall Street had her branded delusional. Rather than picking up the phone to Anna's sponsor, Mr. Feldstein, to check the facts about what she'd been saying in that institution, the doctors felt it more important to diagnose her with bipolar disorder. Why? The doctors did their job badly. They gave Anna a psychiatric label instead of listening to her, showing care, support and compassion, taking the time to understand Anna and her situation, rather than jumping straight to the conclusion of she's mentally ill. Anna had a spiritually transformative experience that had the opportunity to have been treated with no medication and not even needed a day in hospital. But Anna was on that hospital ward for 11 days, given a stigmatizing diagnosis of bipolar disorder, and treated with at least 3 different medications. This case has put a spotlight on just how low the threshold can be to be committed to a psychiatric institution, diagnosed as mentally ill, and forcibly medicated. Anna has brought this case so we can see she is just the tip of the iceberg here. There are thousands of people who have walked in Anna's shoes, who are being medicated, mistrusted, not honoured, when they should be able to share what they're going through without fear of being branded ill, mentally ill, with a diagnosis that they will carry through to their lives. Medications they don't need that can also potentially harm them. Anna has shown us that this can happen to anyone. It could happen to you, it could happen to me, it can even happen on Wall Street. But Anna has also been gracious enough to show us what can happen when you put your trust in something bigger than yourself. How was it that Anna was able to stay calm, grounded, and focused during those 11 days in hospital? Even with the medication she was being given, she had this internal belief in herself. Where did that come from? Even with this stigmatizing diagnosis, Anna was still able to raise a loving, kind, compassionate young man who was an asset to his community, to his friends and his family. And Anna is still on track 20 years later to create a movie to show the world the importance of educating medical professionals on spiritually transformative experiences that are in the DSM. Psychiatrists can use this, they're not using it. Why are they not using it? This is a question we need to find out. Is it because it doesn't result in a medical bill? We've heard from Dr. Kavanagh that if you are correctly given the V code 6289, you could walk out of hospital in less than a day and be given a 0 medical bill. We need to question why that's not happening. Now it's up to us to decide. Who are we going to put our trust in when we go through a period of crisis or pain and suffering? We all go through this, but are we going to put our hands in the lives of doctors, where we've seen what can happen to Anna Biltmore? Or are we going to put our trust into something bigger than ourselves? Perhaps we need to look at the US judicial court system for the answer to this. For it is in God that we trust. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.